Hello everyone. So we've started with human memory. So to begin with, let us firstly understand what is memory. So memory actually refers to the retaining and recalling of information over a period of time. So let us firstly understand the two most important keywords here, the retaining and recalling of information. That also in a way depends upon the nature of cognitive tasks that you are required to perform. So these cognitive tasks are basically, those undertakings that requires a person to sort of mentally process new information, and these cognitive tasks can be, problem solving, decision making, because this essentially will help me to process new information, you know. And also, whenever there's any new information that you've sort of received, it has to go through three very important stages. And these three stages are actually interrelated. So we do have the encoding, we have the storage, and then we have the retrieval. Let us just go by the very important keywords and go step by step as to what these stages mean. When I talk about encoding, you know, two important words for it are recording and registering. You know, when I talk about storage, one very important word for it is retaining. And when I talk about retrieval, one very important word for it is, recalling or recovery of information. So now coming to, of course, the very first stage, which is encoding, as we've already sort of discussed, that when a new information comes in, it has to go through these three very important interrelated stages. So when I talk about encoding being the first one, because that's the first stage, here the information is actually getting recorded and it's getting registered, you know and now this recording and registering of information is done so that, like, we can always use this information later. It sort of becomes usable, you know and whenever there's an external stimulus that sort of strikes or it impinges, on our sensory organs, that external stimulus sort of generates neural impulses. And these neural impulses are received in different areas of our brain, for the further processing of information, you know. So, of course, the incoming information in case of encoding, is being recorded, is being registered, and some meaning is being derived out of it. That is why the term encoding, encoding is being done here, you know. And then, of course, all the processing, etc., can go ahead, it takes another step. Then comes the next stage, which is the storage. Now, in storage, as I shared when we were discussing the important keywords, retaining is a very important word. So when we talk about retaining something, it's all to do with absorbing something, continuing to hold on to something, like, so that it stays there, you know. So in storage, what's happening? It's the second stage of memory. Information that has been encoded, now it has got stored, you know so that it can be used later, you know so now here, what's happening is the information is actually getting retained here, and it's actually getting held over a period of time. Obviously, when something gets stored, it means that it's getting absorbed. It's continuing to be there, you know so after the storage, which is the second stage, comes the third stage, which is the retrieval stage. And here, recovery is a very important aspect of the third stage. So information can be used only when one is able to recover it, you know from the memory. So retrieval, is basically how the stored information can be brought to our awareness. So the recovery of information is very important, the recalling of information is very important, and that is possible only when uh, one is able to actually recover it. Yes, it has been stored there, as per the second stage, it has been stored, it has been sort of retained, it has been absorbed. Now I can only use it when I'm able to recover it, when I'm able to recall it. So now, of course, through this retrieval, which is the third stage, one is able to bring this stored information to one's own awareness, and it sort of can be used to perform various cognitive tasks, and such as problem solving, decision making. These are some of the most important cognitive tasks. Now, what is important to understand that memory failure is also a very important aspect here, and it can take place at any of these three stages. Maybe you sort of have failed to recall an information because you did not encode it properly, or maybe the storage has not been that great, it's been weak, or maybe you couldn't like sort of retrieve it, whenever you actually wanted it, whenever you required it, so anywhere it can go wrong. In any of these three stages it can go wrong. The storage can go wrong, or maybe the encoding has not been done properly, or the retrieval or the recall has not been great. So anywhere it can go wrong. So basically, this was all about what is memory and what are those three important interrelated stages, where as and how the information, when it comes in, it has to go through these three stages, only then one can use it actually. So this was all about memory and the stages of memory. Thank you so much.